Welcome back to the college football landscape, where the stories are big and the games are even bigger. From Athens to Auburn, we're tracking every play, every rivalry, and the entire national championship chase. So let's set the table. Grab your coffee, because the countdown to kickoff starts right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kickoff. You're locked into football and coffee with Casey and Craig.
Woo! We are back, baby. Welcome to football and coffee, baby. Grab your coffee, everybody. It's time to talk ball. Oh, wait. Casey, drinking your sweet tea water. What the hell do you have in there, my friend?
It's water tonight, my friend. I ran out of sweet tea and didn't have time to make any, and the wife is away. So we all know who wears the pants in this household, and so I don't know where the store is, so I'm drinking water.
Are you making the tea like with the bags and then putting it in the sun with the sugar, or are we just buying the Arizona iced tea? What is the best way to do it?
The best way to do it is the sun tea. There's no question about it. But truth be told, it is just the Arizona Arnold Palmer is my go-to right now. It's just easier that way.
It is. It is.
So I'm kind of a poser, I guess.
You know what? We love you anyway. I'm a big Arnold Palmer guy. Love the lemonade. Oh, look. What's up, Emily?
Our first comment.
Woohoo!
Emily Taylor.
Go Ducks, baby. Emily will be on the show in a few weeks.
She just doesn't know it yet.
I think I invited her this morning. So I was like, hey, when are you coming on? Football and coffee. I'll be on there. You were on there. You set the tone. You were the first guest on there. Second guest on there.
Just shows you don't watch her show, but that's fine.
Who was the first guest then, Mr. Know-It-All?
Someone other than me.
Well, you were fantastic. I was on there previewing the Georgia Bulldogs and the SEC. We made a couple of preseason predictions just for you. So,
yeah, looking forward to that episode. I know it's coming. She did a really nice job of kind of recording and then and kind of setting it up and taking her time with it. Yeah. And that sounds amazing when you do it that way. As someone who edits a show every week.
As she would ask, what brings you joy? Well, talking to Emily Taylor.
That's it.
Oh, 5 foot nothing. Speaking of which, welcome to tonight's show. It's our first show, but you know we've been here a while. We think everybody's around. We're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. We've got college eligibility. What the hell is that? I don't even know. We're going to figure that out. We're going to think the NCAA knows. Then we're going to have our buddy 5 foot nothing on. We're going to talk about that team from South Bend, Indiana, the Pop-Tart team. What's it called? Notre Dame, something
really
like
good.
That.
They blew the lacrosse national championship this year. That's who it is.
It's a little rough. But yeah. We'll kind of get into all that stuff. But we're looking forward to it. We're going to have tons of fun. But first, we need a word from our potential sponsor. Now, right now, we're a new show. We're looking for a sponsor, but take it away, Casey, with your sultry tones of what you could expect on Football and Coffee.
Tonight's show could be brought to you by Apotheos Roastery, where coffee is crafted with championship-level precision. They partnered with the University of Georgia's Classic City Collective to create a custom NIL blend, meaning every cup helps support Bulldog student athletes. So if you've ever wanted your morning coffee to fuel both your caffeine addiction and a 5-star recruiting class, and maybe a speeding ticket for good measure, Apotheos has you covered. Apotheos Roastery, great coffee, even better game plan.
And again, that could be you, Apotheos Roastery. Have you ever had Apotheos Roastery?
No, I don't drink coffee.
No, fair enough. Maybe they have sweet tea. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, I would try it. I do drink the occasional Starbucks sweet tea.
Okay.
Also not a sponsor.
No, we could go with it. We could go with the Starbucks. By the way, the 1971 roast, for those of you scoring at home who enjoy coffee, fantastic coffee. I've not been a big fan of Pike's Place for a while. Hurt my tum a little bit. So try the 1971 roast. All right. more important, let's get on to the most important topics of what's being discussed today. And Casey, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know a lot of people go to college for 7 years?
Yeah, other than me, they're called doctors.
Well, I went 5.5, so that's close. I like that.
Yeah.
God, when's the last time you saw Tommy Boy?
Oh, it's not soon enough.
I just feel like I always listen to the Rewatchables on the Ringer. It's like one of my favorite podcasts that's outside of the Message Board Genius podcast show. Catch that every Thursday or Friday morning, depending on when this guy next to me hits the button. But they were talking about, like, in 2026, we have the Odyssey. We've got these great epics. We've got Toy Story. We've got Moana, which I know you've got a young one. Don't go see Moana. That was awful. The singing was bad. I think Dwayne Johnson was like kidnapped or something like that. It was just bad.
I love him.
I think he's great, but like there was like no animation at all to his face. There was a lot of CGI and not a lot of great singing. Anyway, we're missing the comedies. But what the hell does 7 years have to do with it? Well, Friday evening, we had a judge out in Colorado potentially disrupt what was going on in college football. Basically, Judge McSweeney came out on Friday night and basically opened up Pandora's box for college football. We had a handful of folks who had graduated in 2020, graduated this year, and said, "Hey, the NCAA is giving everybody 5 years to play 5 years. We're getting screwed here." And so they sued. And this judge comes out and says, "Hey, you know what? Everybody, not just the people who were in this lawsuit, but everybody gets to come in." She basically opened up Pandora's box. Basically, this weekend, I was talking to a lacrosse coach in the area, and he said, "This is pandemonium. We've gone through camp. We've gone through recruiting. We have our freshmen that are coming in. Our rosters are set. And now all of a sudden, this judge is going to open up the transfer portal on Monday morning, and we're going to, bring in these super seniors and these folks who have been in a professional league." Total disruption. And it just leads to like all of these questions of, what's going to happen. So that was a big topic of conversation. Fast forward to this morning. Name's Judge Sweeney, not McSweeney, Casey, by the way.
Or Dabo Sweeney, not Dabo.
Or Dabo Sweeney. She clarified her comments. Apparently, she maybe said too much on Friday.
No.
She kind of she's trying to put the genie back in the bottle. Basically came out this morning and says, "Hey, revenue sharing cap is still in place. Schools are not going to be able to exceed their limit of cap. The decision affects eligibility. Roster caps are still in place. Most importantly, if a school brings back any players who receive additional eligibility, they have to make the roster, and those financial decisions all have to put within the framework." All of that to say, Casey, should we expect Diego Pavia, his mother, and Theo Vaughn to be back in Nashville for the Commodores coming up?
I mean, that's probably a bad example, only because that guy has already been bouncing around NFL preseason camps. And so there's folks like him that absolutely would probably benefit from another season. But again, as we said, or as you said, I guess, it is a Pandora's box because those rosters are already set. Me, as a Clemson guy, that's the team that I'm closest to reading about with the news. There's 2 basketball players who have hit the portal. One, in fact, already agreed to sign with the University of Arizona. But then I thought the Judge Sweeney said that they're allowed to come back only to the school that they left. So if that's the case, then there has to be room at said school, right? And then there's probably not NIL funds for these guys to come back. So I just don't see it as something that's going to, like, it sounds great, right? Or not great, but it sounds like this big news story. It sounds like there's stuff that things like Pavia going back to Vanderbilt. But I don't know if the reality is going to be as shocking as this news is. I just don't know if there's going to be room for these guys. And then especially if they're not allowed to venture outside. I don't even know how some of these teams, some of these basketball programs, some of these baseball programs have any more room, because I mean, it threw a wrench into everything, did it not?
It really did. I was flipping around Instagram this morning, and Jamison Kester, who's a defensive coordinator, Johns Hopkins lacrosse. Now, I'm going to bring up a lot of lacrosse stuff. I like to cover, and I cover inside lacrosse. I cover D1 lacrosse for inside lacrosse, so I do that. Casey likes baseball. We'll be talking about plenty about football and coffee. We'll use these examples. But Kester was talking about today just the impact of the 5-for-5 is going to have in like men's lacrosse. In men's lacrosse, you have a roster of about 40 to 45 guys on a team. That's probably about as big as you're going to go. So what that means in a given year, you're going to have roughly 8 new guys that are going to be able to come in. And what Kester was saying is, we're going to take 5 freshmen, and then we're going to save like 2 or 3 spots for transfers. And again, if we're thinking about college football in 2026, everybody's opening camps at some point this week. Everyone's going to be getting ready to go. Rosters are set. I believe, we were talking pre-show. Clemson's at like about 108 on the roster. Roster should be at like 105. Dabo's not one to dabble big in the portal. There's probably no room there for anybody else. Georgia has a running back issue. Dowdell, the transfer from Kentucky, got in a serious car accident a couple weeks ago. Looks like he is probably going to be out an extended period of time. Kirby could probably use an extra running back, even though that's probably sacrilege in Athens because they have a plethora of them. But you could bring in somebody else. Vanderbilt, again, we make the joke about Diego Pavia, but you can't tell me that given the option, if we give a little truth serum to Clark Lee, he would probably take Diego Pavia and the circus that comes with it over Jared Curtis as a true freshman.
Yeah, if we're going school by school, I think Clemson could definitely use a linebacker, right? With the Farelli thing that ended at Ole Miss, there's somebody there that they could probably welcome back. But we'll see. I think it is a wait and see, and that sucks on a show like ours when we're trying to talk about it. But it's going to be something that we're going to have to figure out and see if it actually happens and see if it actually holds, because I'm sure the NCAA is going to go back and appeal it, right? There's going to be appeals. But for now, it feels like Pandora's box is open.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of questions for you before we head on for this one. Yeah. And I feel like I was talking to a couple of my buddies on Friday night when this broke, and at some point I said, like, "Excuse me, I go yell at the kids on the lawn, but like, at what point do these kids just have to move on? It's at some point, like, you're graduating, you're done. I think about the end of Ferris Bueller. Why are you still here? Go home, right? There's nothing for you to see here.
Yeah, there's only so many master's degrees you can get, allegedly, right? There's only we are student athletes still, right? Are we not? No, I don't know. That's another soapbox that you don't want me to get on. But
no, I actually feel free to go off in that tangent. There's no guardrails here, my friend.
I just mean you're welcome these guys back. They're in a 5-for-5. If they don't have their degree and they're if they have their degree, great, then they're getting a master's. I mean, there's guys like at Clemson, like Deshaun Watson and Wayne Gallman, who graduated in 3 years and were able to get a master's in 4. I know Clemson's not the only place that happens, but if now you're going an extra year, you've got a master's in 4, but you still have to be eligible by the NCAA, which still means that you have to be enrolled in classes. So, or a class. I know there was that gymnast at LSU that took everything online, but you still have to be enrolled in some capacity to be a student. So that's the thing. Like, we got to keep the main thing, and we haven't. We've kind of disappeared from that. These kids are still going to college, and I know Pac-Man Jones came out in an interview. He said he was almost going to go to Georgia Tech, but he didn't want to go there because they made him go to class. So instead, he went to West Virginia. And I'm sure
he probably just rode the BART. Maybe he was majoring in riding the BART up and down.
Now I know at Clemson, I had to go as a basketball manager. I had to go to study hall. I had to physically go to study hall because I needed to keep my grades up too because I was part of that program. So I don't know. I just maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm dating myself completely. I just feel like the kids need to still find a degree or find a class to take. Now I know that that's easy, and people are probably like, well, of course they'll just go take underwater basket weaving 305 and call it a day. But there still has to be a goal. There still has to be an end game there. So if they're going to play 5 for 5, God bless them, man. I wish I had 5 years of every summer and paid for that I could go and get 35 degrees. That would have been awesome.
It is, but like you bring up an interesting question. Yes, you're going to school, and this was another discussion I was having. What I have this like big issue with Diego Pavia. He didn't make the cut in Baltimore. He comes back and plays in the NFL. We had the same thing with the kid from Alabama last year, who was in the G League for a couple years, came back and played at Alabama. For whatever reason, and again, maybe it's I'm old, or maybe I'm just not a big enough fan of Alabama, but like at some point you're a professional athlete. Why all of a sudden when you don't make the cut or you're not good enough to be a pro, you can just go back to college? Like I have a big issue with it, but here's the problem. What the heck is the difference between a G leaguer or a guy who's maybe a 6th or 7th round pick, or maybe an undrafted free agent in a college football, and a kid making NIL dollars in college? Like, is there a difference?
I don't think there is. No.
And that's I guess that's the crazy part. The old man in me says, it's time to move on, Sonny. Great, you didn't make it as a professional athlete. It's time for you to go to Wall Street. Go do something else. But
that's the lacrosse players that go to Wall Street. But that's the gist of my point too. And I know I had a whole bunch of word salad, and this old brain, once he starts going off the tracks, he has got no idea why he left it. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you're playing 5 for 5, you have a degree. Now go find a job. Right, that you should have a goal in mind when you're taking this, when you're taking all the courses and you get that degree, hopefully in 4 years. And I know all those athletes are there in the summer as well, at least the second summer session, and so to get ahead, so that in the fall when their sport, notably football, is being played, they don't have to take as big a load. So, but you have a degree, you had the 5 years with whether or not you had a red shirt in there and then 4 to play for.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have 5 to play 5. I mean, get that degree and get on. Well, I'm tired of hearing 28-year-old. Back in the day when I was in school, there was like a 31-year-old. Oh, Chris Winkie. Chris Winkie went and played played pro baseball.
Yep.
Came back, was 28 years old and playing for Florida State. I thought he was ancient when I was in school because it's like that guy is so old. I'm tired of 28-year-olds playing college sports. College sports should be 18 to 22, 23. The next time I hear these guys going, oh, he's 25 years old, he's at his 46th school.
But I think that's where I'm going to push back. That is the one thing I don't like about the new house settlement, the 5 for 5 deal. The 5 for 5 deal, we're not talking about, remember the Arby's 5 for 5 deal, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
My mouth's watering again.
Like 1999, 1998, let's go. Now it's like 5 for 30 probably. Anyway, I digress. Here's my biggest problem with the 5 for 5 deal is it starts when that student athlete ends in high school or when they turn 19. At 24 years old, give or take, they're done in college. That hurts college hockey because a lot of those guys and some of those gals will go out and go play a couple of years, and then they come back and they play in college. To me, if you're doing your 5 for 5, I'm even going to bring up Chris Winkie. Who gives a damn if he's 28 playing for Florida State? I guarantee you Mike Norvell would take 48-year-old Chris Winkie this year.
Chris Winkie was good now, Craig.
Chris
Don't
Winkie,
get me wrong.
No, he was good. I'm sure he's better than whatever the hell Florida State has right now. But at the end of the day, like, why should we deny? And I think this is probably, let's be honest, like I'm probably talking out both sides of my backside right now. But why should we deny a minor league baseball player who goes and gives it a go in minor league baseball and wants to play college football?
No, I'm okay with the sports flip. I'm just saying a kid that starts in football
Yep.
and is now 33 years old playing at his 7th school.
No, so I think we're right there. But under the new ruling, under the House settlement,
They can't.
House settlement no longer can do that. College hockey is going to be fundamentally different. You wonder what is that going to look like? How that is going to change? You know, I know that college hockey is even more of a niche sport than what lacrosse is, but I think that's a big one. And the other question is too, you know, you get an exemption for if you go a religious mission. I know BYU does that with the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. They go out and do their missionary work. Also, if you get pregnant, like you can have an extension. But where are the loopholes when Johnny tears his ACL in his right knee for 2 years and his ACL in his left knee? Oh, I feel like I should get another year. They're saying right now no, but I think what this whole ruling, this whole idea is, if I don't like what mom, the NCAA says, I'm going to go just find some local judge dad to give me what I want. I think that's probably more likely.
I don't think there's a hard and fast rule or anything that's coming down the pike that is going to make this like one uniform thing. I mean, college hockey alone, I again could go off on that one too. Those kids will not make the NHL. They won't. They're not going to. The kids that are like those fringe kids, I taught a couple of them in high school back in the day that went to the Green Bay Gamblers and played there for 2 years, then played at Niagara College and were Hobie Baker finalists, and then went to the league for a little bit and ECHL, AHL, WCHL, whatever those things are called, and ended up not making it. But yeah, that if he didn't have those 2 years in Green Bay, he wouldn't have been big enough, fast enough. You know, it's very few kids coming straight out of Minnesota or Michigan or those north and central north states. What is that area even called? The Great Lakes region.
The Great Lakes in the Midwest?
Yeah, there you go. The Midwest.
Detroit?
Yeah. There's a couple of those kids that'll go directly to college. That'll be 18. But yeah, anyway. Sorry. Long. This is a good topic that I know is going to be around for quite a bit, I think, because it's going to change a few more times. I'm very interested in it just based on the hometown feel of the Clemson Tigers and what's going to happen with RJ Godfrey and Dylan Hunter, two Clemson basketball players. On the flip side, there's a kid, Jack Crichton, a baseball player, didn't get drafted. I would love to have him back. Yeah. So I kind of talk out of both sides of my mouth as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because at the end of the day, right, you get your fandom, but like, it's just, it seems like it should be so easy, and you just almost wonder, does it become a little bit, I don't know, does it become more muddied with the dollars? Our good friend at Bourbon and Ball says something, and it went up. Oh, there we go. A little different situation with Winky. He played 4 and 5 since he was a 22, 23-year-old when he started college. Wow.
Yeah, I think he was old when he started, no question. But man, I'm still, and I know he'll be a guest. Our friend FSU 3 times will be a guest coming up soon. The host of Bourbon and Ball, and I'll tell him again when we have him on. But I still have nightmares of being in Doak Walker Stadium. Is that what it's called? No.
Doak Walker, yeah, yep.
Doak Walker Stadium in the end zone. Chris Winky, we pinned him deep. We were going to beat Florida State for the first time ever with Tommy Bowden. Pinned him deep. Chris Winky drops back, fakes a handoff, and like stops and stands like a statue. We crushed the running back. Spoiler alert: he didn't have the ball. Peter Warwick, 99 yards, touchdown. They put up like 760 yards of offense that night, and we went home 54-7 losers.
It's called the play action pass, that case.
Oh,
I know you're not actually those guys.
And it's on YouTube. It's on all these channels that you can see. It is the worst thing that ever happened to us.
By the way, if you're not following us on TikTok, follow us at Football and Coffee Pod. I will be finding a new clip tonight to post for our friend Bourbon and Paul, in spite of our friend Casey.
There you go.
Well, Case, I appreciate that, but it looks like I need a fill up in our cup, and I think we're having a guest in here. But before we bring our guest on, we have a second sponsor read that could be yours.
Yeah, this segment could be powered by the Clemson All-In Blend, medium dark roast with chocolate, toasted nut, and orange notes. Available whole bean or ground for $22.99. Much like Clemson football, it's bold, consistent, and if Dabo has anything to say about it, probably developed through the transfer portal. Oh, wait, never mind.
$23 for a cup of coffee. Is our buddy Palk here, Mr.
He
Sluggo?
is. He is. You want to bring him in?
Let's bring him in.
Oh, do I have to hit the buttons all the time?
You do. My friend, Mr. Palk, how are you, my friend?
Great. I'm great. I think you get more than one cup out of a $22.99 bag of coffee.
I would hope.
I hope so.
I didn't write the copy. I just read it.
$23 for a cup of coffee. You better be hitting the portal for that, or like getting a quarterback or something.
They
Well,
got 11 dudes out of the portal. Like that narrative needs to go away.
Yeah, so does me. So does Georgia getting busted for speeding and driving, but that's not going away either.
Well, because they keep speeding and driving.
That's fair.
What would be the best Georgia patch? Sponsored by like the state
Uber?
police, the local police,
Uber.
Athens, Clark County.
defensive driving school.
That would be a good one.
I think it would be Uber. Well, let us be the first to welcome Mr. Palk, also known as 5 Foot Nothing Pod. And if we're going to welcome him,
Yes.
we have to do it the right way. Mr.
What you
Palk is probably the best and one of the biggest Notre Dame fans out here. And every game day, he starts us with an Irish car bomb. So to get us started tonight, Mr. Palk, the floor is yours.
Well, we're celebrating a couple things. One, congratulations on the new show. Two, I'm back to being 5 Foot Nothing Pod. And three,
It's gonna
Irish car
curdle.
bombs are the best. Go
That's
Irish.
going to curdle.
It's going to curdle.
Go Irish. Beat 5
Look at
Foot
this
Nothing
guy.
Pod.
Absolutely. He didn't even get any on that jersey.
Badgers. You were getting there.
Oh, is that your first team? Beat
It is,
Badger?
It is.
But is it no S though, right? There's no S.
Badger.
Go
Sponsored
Irish.
by Culver's.
Oh, okay. That was warmer than I've ever done because it's been sitting here for 30 minutes. I didn't know when you guys are going to bring me on.
We told you 8:20.
Yeah, but we were late.
Dude, Craig, do you not know Casey and I? Time is not of the essence.
Time is optional.
Time is not of the essence. I love it. You should have just done a car bomb and got another one. Make sure it was cold.
It is Sunday. Some of us have to work.
It is Sunday.
It is
But
Sunday.
I did get a cup of coffee.
Fantastic. Cheers, my friend. So let's talk about the Irish. Was there a little bit of controversy with Notre Dame last year? So I think
Last
get
year.
it-
We're
last
going
year-
back to last year? I was all excited to talk about this year.
yeah, we are going to talk about this year, but I have a question to start with.
All right.
A little
What's your favorite-
icebreaker, if you will.
Yeah. What's your favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
You know, the s'mores is amazing. And here's why. Cold, right out of the package, or in the toaster, both phenomenal options. Not every Pop-Tart for me is fresh out of the wrapper, good to go. Although some might debate that because whether it's toasted or not, it's still a Pop-Tart. But-
Well,
The correct answer was frosted strawberry.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
You
it was
both
the-
are wrong because the correct answer was brown sugar.
A good
Okay,
one.
that's a close second.
That's
That
a
is
That
top
is
five.
that's another one
Yeah.
where you could go right out of the package. You could do that.
Yeah.
Why did Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame hate the Pop-Tarts so much that they decided to opt out of the bowl?
So
Were they
it's
stale?
interesting. It wasn't, I mean, it was a collaborative effort. It wasn't just Marcus Freeman. It wasn't just fans, whoever, he asked the captains, and the captains, well, let me go back. For starters, I'm pointing to both y'all, and everyone listening knows, you were going to lose half your roster just in general because it wasn't a CFP game.
Mm.
That's almost a given. So you can already lock in no Jeremiah Love, no Jadarian Price. and other key components to our team. But then he asked the captains, Marcus Freeman did, and they voted that, hey, you know what, we're not going to play. And what's interesting about it is, yes, it got a lot of heat, got a lot of hate. I get it. I get it. Like, I don't dispute it, but I've, in case you knows all too well, you got to find the silver lining in life. You got to find the positives. There's a lot of negative to latch onto. Find the positive. Positive is Notre Dame now has a mantra and a slogan for this year called "Leave No Doubt," and it was talked about on a Notre Dame centric pod with guys who are inside the program, and basically said, if Notre Dame played last year, even in the CFP, even in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, regardless of the outcome, is that motivation to leave no doubt what it is today on August, 2nd of August 2nd of 2026. I don't think the motivation and the leave no doubt intensity is there, because you did play. And so yes, yeah, and we'll talk about that too. But yeah, so I don't love that they didn't play, but they took that into a positive, and I cannot wait for this year. And then the new announcements. We'll start with this, and then we'll talk about something I don't even know what they do, but there's patches on our jerseys now.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say is we're looking at the new Shields Family Football Center.
$100 million facility.
$100 million.
150,000 square feet. I don't even know how
Does
big
it have
that
a
is.
slide though?
It should.
It should have a slide, but I will say the branding is just fantastic. I mean, it's just totally elite. I will say this: Notre Dame caught a lot of hell and caught a lot of heat. There's one person who didn't catch any heat from it, is this guy, because I am a big bowl games do not matter. As much as Casey will say that I am wrong and I'm an idiot, it didn't impact it, because guess what? They still got their $100 million facility. What are they, number 2 right now in recruiting? I think they're going to be okay with Marcus Freeman. What it learned is don't lose to Texas A&M and don't lose to Mario Cristobal. That's all it taught you. So stay frosty, Irish. We'll come through that.
Shenanigans.
And the other takeaway from last year is we did it with a redshirt freshman quarterback. And what is the cutting edge technology?
I think he's talking about my production value.
Oh,
His
okay.
production value went up. We got a real producer who knew how to hit the buttons, Rob.
We learned it 3 seconds before I went live, Robert.
There we go.
I mean,
but I want to get a tour of this facility. I don't know if it's as easy as it once was.
Are you watching the video? That's your tour, buddy. That's as close as you and I are getting without scratching a big check.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, and again, I don't know. The official opening of it, like the grand opening, is August 7th. But I feel like when you're watching that, some of that is geared towards like fans getting to walk through. I doubt it's free to do so, but
no.
Yeah,
No, there is a key fob, and unless you are one of these, I love this thing, by the way.
It's biometrics, face and fingers. Yeah.
There's your slide, Casey, kind of, sort of.
No, that's how you learn how to run up. Oh, look, there's all the bowl trophies.
There's something missing. Where is it? Hold on. I'm seeing National Championship trophy. Where is it?
It's old.
So I think
it fell apart in the move. It's so old it broke.
I mean, hats off. Like there's a lot of controversy out there right now talking about
Dr. Tom Carter. Sorry,
do you know who that is?
I know Tom Carter, the cornerback. I don't know Dr. Tom Carter, but that's what you get at Notre Dame.
You get doctors. But the question becomes, I would have thought these facilities, would have gone away in the NIL era, right? But I think this shows the money and the resources that Notre Dame has. I mean, to me right here, if you're a top recruit, you're walking right in here, and this is right where I'm going. I mean, my God, this place is absolutely just stunning. I mean, it's fantastic.
So did you think it was going to go away because the funds were going to be allocated for NIL versus something like this?
I think so. Here's the thing. I think Notre Dame is in a class in and of itself. They're in a different level of different stratosphere, where there are going to be some teams where this now is going to be secondary. They're not going to have the slide. They're not going to think about the fancy dining and all this other stuff. What they're going to be focused on is taking those dollars and putting in the athletic program. But here's the thing: Notre Dame is different. They have the athletics, they have the funding in order to make it completely different. I mean, Case, what is your reaction looking at this whole video? 4 minutes of just pure Notre Dame.
I bit through the bottom part of my lip. No, I feel like this is now a dime a dozen, and then everybody else is now one up in each other, right?
Yeah.
Clemson has the Reeves Center. They got their idea from Alabama. This guy Thad Turnipseed, who was one of Nick Saban's right-hand men, came over to work with Dabo and said, you need a facility like that for recruiting, for health, and basically to keep the players here all day. You go to class, you come back here, you play mini golf. I joke about the slide, but there is literally a slide from the upper level to the bottom level and out the door. There's mini golf, there's
Barbershops,
disc golf, there's the putting greens, there's mini golf. MBG loves that stuff. There's barbershops, there's food, nutrition. Basically, the idea is to keep the kids out of trouble. But then, so every school since then is now growing. I'm sure Oregon had it before Alabama did, but now they're just making them even better. And I think you're right. And that Notre Dame one is absolutely stunning from start to finish. It is 4 minutes of wow.
Yeah. I was lucky enough in 2022 to go through Mississippi State's facilities, and I went through their student athlete facilities, but I also went through their football facilities, and it is freaking impressive as hell. I mean, you're in the middle of basically nowhere, Mississippi. No offense, but Starkville is not like in a major area, and it is absolutely gorgeous. But again, that's the idea. Your players are going to be there 12, 14 hours a day. You want them there because if they're there, they're not speeding. Georgia, looking at you.
Yeah, I mean that's a joke, but that's 100%.
100%. You're keeping it out there.
Everything that you need is there.
Right. Do you think there's books there for MBG, like the MBG library?
There's books. There's NIL opportunities. There's studios that you can do podcasts. There is everything. Future planning, financial planning, like there is everything under one roof. And then, oh, by the way, your locker room's right down the hall, and you can just take the tunnel right over to the practice facility. You're never leaving the building.
And the lockers look like their own sleeping quarters. Like the locker itself is insane.
Yep.
Like
they have sleeping rooms. They have nap rooms in these places.
Yeah.
What is a nap pod? Have you ever tried a nap pod?
I've seen one. I've never tried one. No.
I don't need a pod to nap. I could literally just go in my computer chair right now, turn the head around.
Maybe you don't have a CPAP that you need to lock into your nose,
Hey, this is 40, baby. Don't worry, Paul. You'll be there one day, buddy.
I'm 42.
No, he meant you'll be 5 foot one day.
Oh, okay.
The one thing I didn't see on that beautiful facility.
Go ahead.
I didn't see a SoFi logo. Now let's get into this. Let's talk about this. So Notre Dame has one of the most iconic jerseys. Now we're talking about the navy and the white uniforms, not whatever sort of bullshit pinstripe Shamrock series or whatever. Stop with the pinstripes, okay? That's for the Yankees. Keep with the Kelly green. Now, if you want to know how to use the Kelly green jerseys, oh my God, those are hideous. If you want to do something. No. It's my show. I'm still going. You'll get your time.
I'm a Yankees fan too. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I understand. Listen, I have all the respect. And here's the thing.
Basketball. That's what you do.
If you were, listen, if George was still here, Tarek Skubal would be a Yankee, not a Dodger. That's all I'm saying.
That's a podcast for another day.
That is a podcast for another day as a broken-hearted Detroiter over here. But at the end of the day, like if you want to do the Kelly green right, which you know who does it right? The men's lacrosse team. They do a phenomenal job. The Kelly green, especially with those cleats and stuff like that.
Hockey does it right too.
With the golden
Hockey does a good job.
Yes.
All right. But so now we're putting SoFi logo? Really? Is when you think of Notre Dame, touchdown Jesus, praying a novena at the grotto to make sure that Brian Kelly never sets foot again in South Bend. Are you thinking SoFi?
Well, like I joked, I don't even know what SoFi is or does. That tells you where I'm at financially in life.
It's a stadium in Los Angeles. That's all I know.
Yeah, right. It's like no idea. So a couple things. Number one, it wouldn't be just. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of it, but it wouldn't be as terrible if the background was the same color as the uniform. Like if
It
you're
is.
doing, and just the letters of SoFi were the color, right?
Isn't
Well,
that what they have the Navy? Don't they have the Navy like on the Navy
If it's-
jersey? It's Navy
if
with
it's
with the white SoFi.
No, it's the navy jersey with a white patch, navy blue SoFi. On the white jersey, it's a navy blue background with a white SoFi. Why do you think that is, Craig? Do you think they're giving Notre Dame $20 million to hide their logo and blend it into the jersey? No. If they can make it stand out 2 feet and be a battering ram, they would do it. They want that as prominent as possible if you're giving a university $20 million to do so. So
But
I
by
would
the
be
way-
okay with it if they somehow blended it better for starters. Let's just talk about that aesthetics. But go on. What were you going to say?
So SoFi, short for Social Financial, is an online-only digital bank and financial technology company that offers high-yield checking and savings accounts, loan refinancing, and commission-free investing through a single mobile app.
Yeah.
If that doesn't sound like Notre Dame, I don't know what does.
I mean,
So, so that's what I learned. It's a very when it comes to like logical connections, much like Notre Dame joining the ACC from an academic standpoint. In other sports, not football, it makes a ton of sense. And so SoFi apparently makes a ton of sense. And the idea that they're putting it on the jersey, I haven't even talked to my dad yet. He spent 2 weeks in Destin and literally just came back yesterday. And I need to let him vacation from his vacation before I go, hey, Dad, what do you think of SoFi? He's a 1974 graduate. I can already tell you he's not thrilled. I promise you he hates that they put the which I don't have. I have the old leprechaun, the new running football leprechaun on the green jersey sleeve. I'm sure he's a big fan of that. And I don't know what he'll think of the facility. He'll probably think highly of it and try to find a way to use his managerial history like Casey does at Clemson. Hey, I was a senior manager in '74. What do I get? Nothing. But
Is that Ara Parseghian? Come
uh,
on, you're
no,
the Notre Dame guy.
that was
it is,
Canute,
but
Canute
you-
Rockney.
No, but my dad was Casey. He
Canute.
was basketball. So
Oh.
my dad's link was Digger Phelps. He's got a ton of Digger Phelps stories. No football era stories, unfortunately. But and I think it was end of era, beginning of Dan Devine. But anyway,
fair.
nonetheless, SoFi. If you're gonna do it, I mean, might as well be the best at it and do $20 million of it. And the reality is, Marcus Freeman has adapted to whatever college football is. You guys we can discuss amongst ourselves what we think it is today. It's not what we grew up with at all. But you have to adapt, starting with transfers. Then, okay, NIL. We got to embrace it. This is part of the embracing of the NIL. If you're, I don't know what Dabo's next move is, Casey, but if you're not willing to embrace this, you're going to fall behind. Because, and whether it's true or not, if Notre Dame sits back and says, we're not going to deface our jerseys with some patch, I don't care how much money they're going to give us, and then we miss on a 5-star recruit, what's everybody going to think? Oh, well, it's because we said no to SoFi and $20 million. If we had that $20 million, we would have got that recruit. You know how it goes.
Yep.
So,
On the message boards.
correct. But I understand the point of it, and it's to stay current. As much as people want to say Notre Dame's irrelevant, this is staying relevant with the times and adapting. And on top of that, it's not just the $20 million that goes back into, I don't know if all 20 goes to NIL, but
Yep.
SoFi's also, what's that?
So it goes 20 million will go back to the 26 varsity sports. In addition, SoFi is creating a $1.4 million annual fund for Notre Dame's For Forever program, which supports scholarships, financial education, career development, even a full tuition scholarship for selected walk-on students. I knew that off the top of my head. I didn't read that anywhere.
And that's what I was gonna say is the SoFi angle also brings in academics and values academics. Like you guys are talking about the 5 and 5, 5 for 5. Notre Dame had a 4 for 40. Now it's 4 for forever, and it's not untrue. I mean, we just saw as you were scrolling through. That's why I pointed out Dr. Tom Carter. Dude was a cornerback, played in the NFL, and now he's a doctor. Justin Tuck is I don't know what his title is inside Goldman Sachs, but
Mhm.
we all know who Justin Tuck is. He is now some head honcho in Goldman Sachs, and that all started by deciding I'm going to attend the University of Notre Dame. So SoFi is embracing the academic side with that $1.4 million fund to help with the graduation, the scholarships, and all that kind of stuff.
Myron
So-
Roll is a Rhodes Scholar.
No,
That's
I'm not saying it doesn't apply to other universities.
yeah. So wait, hang on. I got a question for Casey.
I don't know if I
since
got that name right.
So he's our most senior member of this show.
Are you
means
saying I'm
he's-
the oldest member?
I am. So yeah, I'm going to assume that you're going to be the one screaming and get the kids off the lawn.
That's true.
Is there any problem with like the jerseys, like these logos on the jerseys? Like, do you
No.
have any?
No.
Are we going to think about it like come week 2?
No, I mean, and people are going to hate hearing this, and they're probably going to tune out. But the Premier League or any of the soccer leagues around the world, you don't even know. Like their little logo is up here in the corner, and spread over their chest is whatever
Emirates or
Yeah, whatever.
Vodafone.
is there.
Remember, Manchester United was always Vodafone. Like,
No,
Yes.
because I don't watch that stuff. But
doesn't watch that stuff, and yet he was who on his own show was
who
like,
watches
well, this
that?
is why the USA is going to make it to the group of 16, and
They
then
are.
to get our ass kicked, and then this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wait, are
I'm
they
watching
out?
it.
Are they out?
The U.S. lost. Yeah,
Yeah, they lost.
Just the other
they
day.
didn't make it.
Right, just a couple points.
You know,
But- Yeah, so I mean, I think now it's just the U.S. catching up. We always think we're better than everybody else, but those are the biggest money-making leagues in the world, and college football is now trying to rival some of these professional leagues. You're going to need backing of major corporations, and if that's the way it's going, then yeah, slap them on. People, traditionalists, and I know I'm the oldest, but I may have the most open mind to this. Traditionalists are going to hate it. But I don't give a rip if you put Winn-Dixie on the inside the paw at Clemson, and people at Clemson folks will kill me for that. But yeah, if it's going to make you money, if it's going to build your NIL collective monies, whatever, then I will face paint stuff on me.
and I think like to put it in perspective, Ohio State got
You don't do
somewhere.
perspective here.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to be. Listen, I'm trying to be a little more closed-minded than Mr. Open-minded over here. Ohio State got 17 million from Chase Bank. By the way, Paul, Ohio State's integrating, despite being Chase being blue and white, they're integrating the red and white into their uniform. So
I feel like
just
Georgia should have been Chase.
Where's your
Get
little
it?
rim shot there,
I
Mr.
do.
Producer?
All right.
All right. Anyway, so Ohio State gets somewhere between 15 and 17 million. Notre Dame's getting almost 20 million for SoFi. You know, we look back earlier this month, Casey, we talked about it earlier on a different show. We talked about the Big 12 getting Monster Energy, getting 20 million for the entire conference. So basically what we're saying,
Did you see Notre Dame guy just laugh like that?
yeah, what
So-
was the laugh for, Paul?
Because that's hilarious. But I like the laugh is hilarious because yes, the Big 12 was like, check this out, look what we got. And then Ohio State and Notre Dame were like, that's really cute and all.
That's
but,
cute. Yeah, look what we did just
But
for
it-
ourselves.
But supposedly the Big 12 teams, whoever it might be, Texas Tech, BYU, go down the list, can go out on their own.
Of
You
course.
can't name any more
Of
Big 12
course.
teams.
I'm out. Cincinnati, yes,
Despite
no.
the fact he lives in Texas, he can't
Baylor.
name any more
Baylor's
Big 12
one.
teams.
TCU,
You know,
UCF. It's the alphabet
I
conference.
thought you said USF. But I think what it, you know, and again, your mark got ripped. Talking to our good buddy McCleary, their SEC.
Let's go Bulls.
Oh, Bulls. Oh, Okay, so whatever.
Do you even
All
use the USF, bro?
I don't. I have to skip that Tampa for the God. Anyway, gather this back now. All right. What I'm trying to go with, Yormark caught a lot of crap, especially when we saw the 17 and $20 million thing with Ohio State and Notre Dame. What I think that shows more than Yormark screwed the Big 12 with their Monster Energy drink. That's why we have the Big 2, the SEC, the Big 10, and everybody else. And I'm going to lump Notre Dame in with the SEC and the Big 10 because they're their own brand, they're their own special entity. No one's going to spend that amount of that money on Texas Tech. They're not going to crumble cookies isn't going to do that for BYU or let alone the conference. I think it just shows what that gap looks like and how far that is. So
the one thing I will say is, when we're talking about Notre Dame and its traditionalness, no names on the jerseys, all that kind of stuff. And I think this applies to some of the bigger names in college football, Clemson, Georgia included. There's certain things I think that are untouchable, and the stadium name is where I would draw the line. Like, it's Notre Dame Stadium, it's Samson Stadium, it's Death Valley, but what do you even call your stadium, Casey?
It's Death Valley, Frank Howard Field.
Okay, right there, Howard's Rock, and all that. But like, there's so many like Neyland Stadium that by their name, versus like I wouldn't be okay with Invest QQQ Stadium in South Bend or whatever the heck. That's where I would have a little bit, even as a more younger generation that accepts all this stuff. I wouldn't be okay with that. Where do you guys sit on that?
You wouldn't be okay with SoFi Midwest?
I like as a stadium name, no.
All right.
Like if you want to name the field,
no, you got to name it Joe Montana.
Yeah, but what do you guys think about stadium names losing its traditional, like the horseshoe? And
if you bring if you bring the money in, at the end of the day, it's going to be the same thing. Listen, I complained when Tiger Stadium, where the Detroit Tigers play, all of a sudden they were playing at Comerica Park. I'm never going to call it Comerica Park. Guess what I call it now?
Comerica Park.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, Paul. Well, we have a surprise for you, my friend.
Uh-oh.
We're going to bring you back in the next couple of weeks. We're going to give you 1 minute on the show we're going to give you some Notre Dame question and you get to talk about it. So we're going to give you a little test here. Casey will have the mute button. We'll see you probably next week, buddy, because we won't get to say officially goodbye. Okay. But you have 1 minute to talk about Notre Dame's schedule, which is softer than Charmin. Ready? Go.
It's the easiest schedule we've had in I don't know how long. And it's not our fault. If your team could be independent, you would be. But I don't have it off the top of my head, but Wisconsin, it's good to have Wisconsin first because they could be good. You don't know. But first game of the season, no chance. And then we run through the likes of Rice, Michigan State, Purdue. I'm missing somebody. And then we hit BYU game 7. We'll be 6-0 going into BYU. And I know BYU is a fine story, but Texas Tech, you saw what they did to them twice. Texas Tech then scored a grand total of 0 points in the
30 seconds.
And then the big game is Miami, which will be 9-0 going into Miami. That'll be interesting.
15.
It's going to be 10-0 after that, but we're going 12-0 because the only game we're going to get hyped up for is Miami. And Miami sucks.
That was your Irish Minute with our good friend, Palk.
Bye, buddy.
Thank you, pal.
Peace.
That was fantastic.
He's so good.
He is very good. Yeah, we're going to look forward to it. We're going to have Palk, because who doesn't love a little Notre Dame fodder?
We like a Notre Dame
minutes. That was a little long.
1 minute.
Yeah. By the way,
I watched 4 minutes of something on my screen, Craig.
Did we loop it twice, or was that just the one time?
Once. That's how big that place is, and gaudy, and awful.
It was pretty good though. But yeah, we'll look forward to bringing them back. All right, should we wrap this thing up?
Let's do it.
All right, I got a question. Do you like to tailgate?
Oh man, I love it.
So I know our buddy John Tweet Sports always knows how to throw a good tailgate, and we give a lot of crap to Texas A&M on here, but I think they may have won the tailgate. Can we talk about this for just a minute?
Yeah, please do.
All right, I'm going to share my screen now. You ready?
Yeah, let's see if it works.
All right, let's take a look at what Texas A&M has to offer, and it's not 4 minutes long. It's 44.
Relationships are built through shared experiences. A conversation before kickoff, a weekend with clients, time spent together. That's the idea behind Game Day Suites Aggieland.
Real quick, can you hear the audio?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Private, individually owned spaces designed for hosting, gathering, and doing business in the heart of Aggieland. Just minutes from Kyle Field. Purpose built for connection. Designed for Aggies. Game Day Suites, a place to gather, a place to connect.
All right, we're not going to give Game Day Suites unless they're a sponsor.
Right.
Too much love, but
No.
I will say,
Get them out of here.
yeah, I will say this. Look at that. Is it still showing, Casey? Or
No.
is it gone? Is it gone?
It's gone. I can bring it back though.
Nah, never mind. It's all good. We're good. So Evan Grimes, is that your buddy?
Yeah, that's my boy.
He's apparently a big Aggie fan.
No, he's
Not-
a big Georgia fan.
He's a big Georgia fan.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I do see the G in there. So he's upset because this isn't even by Kyle Field.
No, he's not upset. He's talking ish right now.
Is he talking ish? But
Yeah, I
here's the
think
thing.
so. I think so.
This looks amazing. We've got the football field right
How do
in
you get
middle.
to the stadium?
I don't care. You Uber or you Lyft. Like if you can afford one of these suites, so you've been to Mississippi State once or twice. You've seen the
Yeah.
condos out in left field. There's
Oh, the
about
baseball
12
field, yeah.
12 of them out there. That's about 6 figures a year to do that. I can only imagine what these things are going to cost.
Yeah, there's places all around. Again, I'm bringing it Clemson centric, but they have these like that's what the not as cool looking as that is.
Yeah.
But Evan's even telling us he's got to heard you have to furnish them yourselves. But like the ones in and around Clemson, it started as like a lot, a parking lot that you had
Yeah.
your own space. It had fresh bathrooms and TVs all around, and it was a great place to park and tailgate and blah blah blah. Real close to the stadium, but you own the spot, you own
Yep.
the air. Then it turned into right next door into these condos that are beautiful, and they were furnished. You bought them furnished, and they're empty during the school year except for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some of them don't even have bedrooms. This is a great point by Rob Williams here, our guy. He says, who's Ubering in game day traffic? I used to have to drive the announcers to and from the stadium when I was a super senior at Clemson. Ed Cunningham, all the time. I drove that guy, had to park his car and then drive it through. And it was the worst experience of my life because of all the people. But anyway, I digress.
Listen,
Yeah,
Rob,
so like they're around, but like they're obviously just like the locker rooms, just like the building that we showed way too long of Notre Dame stuff. They're just now one-upping each other across the country. These places look awesome, but I think, like everybody said, if they were closer to Kyle Field, it might be a little bit. I don't know. It may. They're going to get bought up, right? Somebody's going to buy them.
right, so here's the thing, Kyle.
You want to start a rickshaw business?
Apparently Rob is rickshawing the whole way. He's got his pinkies up there. I'm not taking an Uber. Listen, you're just trying to get close. But at the end of the day, so Texas A&M has these game day suites. Ohio State in their south end zone now is putting in it's kind of like they're like suites on the field. They're going to have basically a drink grill. It's going to be set up for about 12 people. And then they're going to have, I think they're about $4,000 a seat, something like that. Then, be fully furnished. They got all the food, the drinks, everything that you want.
That's inside the stadium.
Inside the stadium, you're on the field. You're at field level. So again, the people they're going after is probably not you or me. Maybe they're going
we
after
don't know
Rob
what
and his-
SoFi is, so
Yeah.
probably not us.
Right. They may be going after the Rob Williams groups, who's got his own cock caboose at the Williams-Brice Stadium,
He does.
and doesn't have to Uber then because he's in the cock caboose.
He just takes the train.
He just takes the train, apparently. He does a little dance. These are, again, we're looking at how are we catering to the high-end booster? How are we catering to these folks? The game is important to them, but it's about that experience. At Aggie Land at Texas A&M, you're bringing your clients there right for a weekend. You're closing the deal. You're gonna close the big deal. You're the same thing at Ohio State. These are business deals as much as they are going to see the game. So, given the choice, let's pretend for a moment that you're a high-end booster. Maybe you are a high-end booster. I don't know. Are you going with the Aggie Land suites, or are you going to go with the suites and the stadium right on the field?
I think it's an age thing with me. I like the stadium suites. You're going to do your parking. You're going to do your tailgating outside, and when you get inside, you're going to have that fresh bathroom because I pee a lot after drinking a lot of Blue Cans. Also, not a sponsor. So I'm going to need that. I'd rather do it in the stadium than outside. I can tailgate with the best with a little umbrella, those tents next to the car, throw a couple of those camping chairs down, the Chick-fil-A platter, and call me a day. So I definitely don't need this posh stuff outside the stadium. I'd rather the posh stuff inside the stadium.
Inside?
Now that I'm older, I don't need to be around the riffraff of the kids yelling, cursing at my kid.
See, I think the price tag's keeping out the riffraff. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they've got kids and they're going to be able to have that. But if I'm thinking about it for the weekend again, if I'm thinking I'm a businessman, I'm going through that. I'm going to bring my friends to Kyle Field. I'm getting Rob Williams' rickshaw directly to the stadium. I'm probably already going to a suite as it is. I'm going with the Aggie Land for the weekend. I think that I just love the setup with what they're looking at.
I didn't read the last part. I just read the first part.
Listen, if we know anything about that Joker, he's always going to go with you because I'm always wrong. So it's okay.
That's a true story.
This is also a true story about the Cubs and Adams.
And I mean, I got my fan club out here tonight, Craig.
You are the man, and I think it's true. But on that note, damn, this was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it flew by. Oh my God! I said we need to be 45 to an hour sharp.
It's an hour or two. We're close enough. Like Polk, we didn't let the Guinness get too warm.
Really good crowd. So thank you everybody for coming and listening to us and letting us work this thing out.
Yeah, we're figuring it out. Check us out. Twitter, McMicah7 at From Sluggo over there. We're on Instagram a little bit. We're trying the Talk, which I tell my niece and nephew, also known as TikTok. We're posting some of our favorite highlights. Apparently, I have a great Peter Warwick one I have to post tomorrow morning. Looking at some of the great ones, we'll also post some clips from the show. Obviously, like us, favorite, all the good stuff. Next week, we're going to have our friend FSU 3 Times come on in and also host of Bourbon and Ball to talk them. I want to thank our good friend, Mr. Polk. Please give him a follow on the Twitter. 5 foot nothing. You can see him do cold Irish car bombs and talk and about all the good things Notre Dame.
If there is such a thing, he is the best Notre Dame follow out there.
He is.
If that actually exists.
I'm not
sure.
It's close enough. But from a good friend, Mr. Casey, I appreciate you, my friend. I hope you have a good week. We'll see you next week. 9 East, 8 Central. Keep the coffee warm.